Hi, and welcome back to Settlyd. We're continuing the tutorial videos, and today we're going to talk about the asset division sheet. Previously, we've set up a client file, worked through all of the other components of the Settlyd system. As with always, when you log on, you're going to come onto your dashboard, select your Manage Client Documents page. It's going to take you over to the Manage Clients page. We've been working with Steve, and we're going to press, as we always do, the blue Manage Documents button, and we're going to come over and we're going to go to the asset division analysis sheet. Now, earlier when we did the financial declaration, I talked about how information would be transferred or can be transferred back and forth between the two. Any of the information that we're looking at here on the asset division sheet, be it real estate, be it vehicles, investments, any of these things, none of that was entered in directly. This is all coming over from the financial declaration sheet. Now, I want to show you here on retirement, if you recall, when we set up Steve's financial declaration, he has a voluntary retirement account. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to tell it that it is a voluntary retirement account. That's going to tell it where to go on the asset sheet, and we're going to tell it, the system, to include it on the asset sheet. Make sure the account type is noted and this box is ticked. We're going to press save, wait for our green banner, then we're going to go back over to the asset sheet. We're going to reload it, and when it reloads, we now have entered directly from the financial declaration a retirement account. But let's say, for instance, that there is also an additional 401k, and it has $200,000 in it. Steve does real well with retirement, and that there is no debt on the account. What we want to do is we'll press calculate here to pull that up. It'll calculate $200,000 here. Now, when we press save, it's going to ask us, do we want to include this on the financial declaration sheet? So let's press yes. We now have all of the stuff saved on sheet 4, so we can work to divide it. But if we come back over to the financial declaration sheet and we refresh this sheet, when we come down and scroll to the voluntary retirement and pensions, we now have another voluntary retirement, the $200,000 that we entered over there on the asset sheet. So now you can move back and forth between the two. One of the things that you can do, let's look at this asset. Let's say, for instance, let's say this is a work-related, and then let's say this is a Bank of America 401k, and we press OK. Anytime that we come back and look at these, if we scroll over on any of these notes that we have here, it will show us under, for instance, under the retirement, it'll show it's a work-related 401k or it's a Bank of America 401k. And essentially you have the ability on any of these assets to add those notes. Now, what you can do is you can do a side-by-side comparison. It defaults to 50-50 and 55-45, but what you can do is you can change this to a 60-40 division. Let's look down here at the bottom, and what we have here is we have things squared along these ways. Press calculate, and what it will do is it will calculate netting out any credit card debt. It's allocated that equally, and it'll show us what a 50-50 division looks like of the totality of the state. Doesn't take anything to equalize a 50-50, and it'll also show us what a 60-40, with 60 going to the client, 40 to the opposing party, how much that would take to equalize. Now, what we also have the ability to do is for any particular asset, and let's go back down to the retirements. Let's say, for instance, that this retirement account, the client has made it clear that what he wants to do here is he has to keep this asset completely to himself. So watch what happens between the 50-50 breakdown here when I press apply changes. It's going to switch 100% of that asset over to the client. And then what we can do is we can do a calculation here. It's going to do everything else in the marital estate 50-50 except for that retirement account. It'll shift it to the client side, and it will give you an actual breakdown on what the estate is at that 57.43. Because it was a $52,500 amount that we needed to equalize, it'll show that as what needs to be done if we want to bring it back to 50-50. And it'll show exactly what the breakdown is. Now, let's say, for instance, we need to capture $52,500 from somewhere else. And let's just use, for instance, here, and we'll go to change this asset. And what we're going to do is change this asset in a unique division fashion. We can do it either via the standpoint of percentages, and we can break down that way and assign different percentages to the clients or to the opposing party. So you have not only the ability to shift an asset completely in total and form, but you can also do percentages to where you can come through if you need to balance things along or do something other than just all into one column. When you're done, after everything is finished, you generate a PDF. You can generate both sides, the 50-50 and the 60-40, or you can just generate a single side only. You can include or not include your confidentiality language. And then you get a PDF that shows all of the division breakdown. It has a key at the bottom to show any of the D's, and for instance, in this case, the client division that we did there. While you were working on this or any component of Settlyd, if you need a calculator, you can simply press here and a calculator will appear that you can move around the screen to work as far as it goes that way. Any questions that can't be answered by these tutorials, you can come over and you can use the support to either access the tutorials or you can create a support ticket. And again, you can always email us at support@settlyd.com if you have any additional questions. Want to thank y'all for your continued use of Settlyd. And as we create more training videos, please look for them here under the support and tutorial section. And have a great day.